Hi there, this is Craig back from StopDrinkingExpert.com. Today's video is on the subject of how you curb cravings for alcohol. And it's a very common question I get asked, so let's just go into some details about how you deal with that urge to drink. Because I know from experience, when it arrives, it's almost unbearable. You can't think about anything else apart from getting a drink. And so if you've committed to giving up drinking, even if it's just for a short period of time, you may be wondering what practical things you can do when that urge arises. And I do have a series of steps that you can implement that help massively with these cravings to drink. First of all, I just want to explain a little bit why it's happening. There is a kind of erroneous program running in your brain about alcohol. And if you're wondering who put it there, you did. It's a bit like Pavlovian conditioning. You know Pavlov with his dogs. Every time he fed them food, he rang a bell. And eventually, he would get the same result by just ringing the bell, even when there was no food present. They would salivate and expect to be fed. Well, you've done the same thing over the years with alcohol. You see, your subconscious has been watching what you've been doing. And every time you've felt a little bit stressed or a little bit anxious, you've turned to alcohol as the solution. And in fairness, it's worked. You know, you felt a little bit anxious, a little bit, stressed with the day, and you've taken a drink and you relax. Well, your subconscious has been watching that. And so it's put two and two together. So now you have this program in your head that says stressed, alcohol, solution, stressed, alcohol. They go together now. So whenever you feel stressed, your subconscious wakes up and goes, I have the solution. And it doesn't really care whether it's good for you or bad for you. It just knows that there is a solution to your problem, and here it is. So you have this erroneous program in your head. And the only way you can get rid of this program, because it is physically a piece of meat in your head, anything that is done repeatedly is built, hardwired into the brain. It's part of the miracle of the human brain that it can do this. So you have a piece of meat in your head that facilitates your drinking now. And the only way to get rid of it is to not respond to it. Because every time you run that program, you make it stronger. And every time you don't run it, it gets weaker. But it's not like you can not run it 10 times and then it's gone. You know, for most people with an alcohol problem, they've spent years, maybe even decades, building up this program in their head. So it's not just going to go overnight or in the space of a couple of weeks. It's going to take time. So, first of all, if you get the urge to drink alcohol, I want you to do one thing very quickly. I want you to drink a pint of water. Before you do anything else, get a pint of freezing cold water and drink it. Two reasons. One, maybe you're just thirsty. Sometimes we can just get a little bit confused about what we're craving. The body is sending out the message that it needs liquid, fluid, and we get that confused with the craving for alcohol. So the first thing we do is we drink the water just to make sure we're not thirsty. It's also a distraction and a break from the usual routine. Remember, acting on the command of that program makes it stronger. So doing what you normally do makes that program stronger. You don't normally have a glass of water, so you're already disrupting the pattern. The other thing I want you to do is to do something dramatically different than what you would normally do in that situation. So let me give you an example. Back when I was a drinker, my drinking routine was I would come home from work and I would open a bottle of wine. I mean, literally, even before I took my coat off, I would open a bottle of wine, pour a glass, and I would sit in my lazy boy chair in front of the TV and drink wine all night until I passed out. That's what I did every day. So for me, to get an alcohol craving, the worst thing I can do is go and sit in that chair and put the TV on, because there's too many things anchored to that moment. My subconscious puts sitting in that chair watching TV in the same envelope as alcohol. So the worst thing I can do is sit in that chair, because the moment I sit in that chair, put the TV on, the cravings for alcohol are going to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, because I've activated a very firmly embedded anchor in my subconscious. Now, obviously, I can't tell that the anchor's been activated. I can't go, look at that, subconscious is working. To me, I just interpret it as, oh my God, I need a drink. So what I want you to do is something dramatically different to what you would normally do when the craving for alcohol arises. So if you would normally go to the liquor store, or if you normally go to the cupboard in the house where you keep the alcohol, I want you to go outside and do something else. Run around the house, go for a swim, go for a run, go and visit someone, go and visit a friend. Put some music on in your living room and dance like a crazy person. Just do something that is radically different to what you would normally do. Because every time you can do this, you slightly damage the program you've created in your subconscious mind. And if you damage it enough, it's a bit like scratching a CD. Eventually the CD will not play anymore. And that's our goal with this technique. There is a third option. If you're still craving alcohol after all this, my God, you've got a strong craving. But the third option is called thought field therapy. It's otherwise known as tapping therapy. I have a separate video about that, so I'm not going to include it here because I have done it several times before. But look through my video, subscribe to my channel on YouTube, and have a look through for the tapping therapy solution if you still have a craving after you've done all that. I hope that helps. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you want a free copy of my book, Alcohol Lied to Me, go to the website right now, www.stopdrinkingexpert.com. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.